Hi and welcome back to my podcast. If you haven't been here before, my name is Stine and I am a 31-year-old knitter living in Oslo, Norway. I usually have been doing my podcast in Norwegian, but lately I've been trying to shaking things up a bit more just because I've met so many new people online who's not Norwegian or don't understand Norwegian that well, so I wanted to try to be inclusive. I just released my 2024 intentions video, and if you haven't seen that, I strongly recommend you do, because I will be referring back to my intentions, I guess, throughout the year, so it's really nice to be up to speed on those. My daughter is now napping, and let's see if I can speed through this episode before she wakes up, or if I have to spend some of her next nap recording as well. I will start with my finished objects, and the first one is this. This is my grey Marseille sweater, which I've already kind of talked about in the previous video, but I'll share some about it anyways. This is the Marseille sweater by Petiteknit. I chose this pattern because I already owned it. I wanted a basic grey sweater, and I just love my original Marseille sweater so much. I wanted a second one. It was a bit of a fail when it came to gauge. I was quite off gauge. It's supposed to be 21 stitches per 10 centimeters. I have 18, so it grew quite a lot. I didn't gauge swatch, which is probably a bad idea. I still have worn this almost every day since I bound off, so I don't consider it a complete fail. I'm totally in love with the color. This is Knitting for Olive Merino and Soft Silk Mohair, and I find Knitting for Olive Merino to be a tad more rustic than some other merinos, which personally I love. I find that merino can sometimes be too slick and soft for my liking, and the Knitting for Olive Silk Mohair is also a bit more rustic than other silk mohairs. I believe that is because they don't kill the silkworms. They use the leftover silk after the worm hatches, which means it is a cruelty-free silk mohair, and is one of the reasons I really enjoy this mohair, even though it's a tad more expensive, especially now that the exchange rates aren't that great. But I love this combination, and I believe that when I choose merino for myself going forward, I will probably opt for Knitting for Olive, just because it feels that tad more rustic, and I just enjoy the knitting experience quite a lot. So kind of a fail, but also not. Like, it's too long to tuck into jeans and stuff, I find, because it adds too much bulk to the bottom. But to wear with skirts and just for lounging around at home, it's perfect. So I guess that's just an excuse for knitting another grey sweater this season. My second finished objects are a pair of socks, and they're conveniently hanging right here. They are soaking wet because I washed them today and put them on blockers, and they haven't dried yet, but as per usual, I record when I have time to record, and sometimes that means my stuff is still blocking when you see them. These are Wise Hildas basic ribbed sock. They are a 3x1 rib, and I chose to do them in a contrast heel, toe and cuff, which is the first time I'm trying. The main color is from my advent calendar. It is Lille Rille hand-dyed yarns. The color is, what was the color name? Oh wow, I can't remember the color name. I'll just check really quickly in my Notion. I made a Notion this year for my knitting, and I find having my yarn stash in Notion is really helpful for me. Now let's see, the color name is Kalamata, like the olives. It's like a deep purple with some more earthy speckles. And I follow the pattern not exactly to a T, but quite. Like I did a 56 stitches on 2.5 needles. And for the heel, I just knitted a bit shorter than the pattern suggested, just because I like my socks, I found out, quite snug on this part. And then I followed the instructions for the toe from the SOS basic socks from Summerlee, just because the Wise Hilda socks had some different had a different rate for decreasing. Like you do decrease, knit 2 rounds, decrease, knit 1 round, which I found too much to remember while knitting as my daughter was awake. So I did a normal decrease where you decrease every other round, and then I decreased until there were 12 stitches left on each of the needles and bound off using the Kitchener stitch. And I think they are going to be really pretty. I haven't tried them on yet, obviously, so I will give you a review of the fit in the next episode. Third finished object is a piece I've been working on at the end of December using the alpaca yarn I bought when we were on the alpaca walk in November. And it is a mashup of the Lumme and Novice Sweater Junior. The Lumme is by Sari Nordlund and the Novice is by Petiteknit. And it's actually even more beautiful on camera than in real life, because you can truly see the flowers on the screen, while up close it's not that pretty yet because I haven't blocked it. I think I'm just going to steam block this. I'm not sure if if I dare put it in the water. It's undyed, so I don't think it would ruin the colors, but I just think I'll steam block it to be on the safer side. And to be able to do this in a 1-year-old size, because the Lumme doesn't come in children's sizes, I got some help from my mom to figure it out. I made a gauge swatch, knitting it as long as the Novice sweater pattern stated that the chest should be. I don't want to share the measurements because I figure that's why you buy the pattern, and I don't want to give the pattern away for free, obviously. So I knit a gauge swatch as long as the chest in the Novice sweater is supposed to be before you set aside stitches for the arms. And then I counted the number of rows to see how much of the chart I would be able to fit on the chest. Then when I had that number, I chose what parts of the pattern I wanted to include, and I really wanted to fit these larger flowers, and I'm so happy they fit. So I chose to do these bigger leaves and the large flowers, and after I put the stitches on hold, I knit the smallest flowers that's supposed, I think, to go on the arms on the adult version. I knit those on the body and the sleeves, just to like balance out the bigger flowers. It probably would have looked just as amazing without these leaves, or even without any of the leaves, but I just wanted to include some more of the pattern. And I personally think this turned out really good. I won't know for sure how the fit will be until my daughter is like a bit older and a bit bigger, but I'm a believer. I think this looks good, like for a 1-year-old, 18 months, something like that. I think it will be perfect for fall. And this will be a part of her kindergarten wardrobe, which I am starting this season. And I just wanted to say that I didn't cast on the neck first. I cast on directly and started right into the chart and picked up stitches for the neck, because I figured if it's a bit snug on top or if it's way too big or anything, it's easier to unravel just the neck, and I can do it tighter or anything and then it would kind of pull in the entire piece a little bit on the top, and just if I needed to adjust the fit in the top a little bit. But you know, this is alpaca. I doubt she will be wearing this directly on skin, because personally I find alpaca a bit scratchy. So I will make a merino, soft merino neck warmer for her to wear inside, and that will like cover her up to her chin, and then she can wear this on top. And as kids, they will wear layers, so I find that if the fit is a little bit off, it won't matter that much. I also did the ribbings just a bit longer than stated in the pattern, both on the arms and on the body, just to increase the time she will be able to wear it, because if the arms are a bit long, they will be just scrunched up with the sleeves, and I will stretch out how long she will be able to wear it, because it's really frustrating knitting pieces for children and then they outgrow it immediately. So it's nice having them ready and they can start using it just a little bit before they actually fit, and then you extend the life of the piece. Now let's move into my works in progress. And since I just bound off this sweater and the socks, I don't have too many things going on, which is also a reason I wanted to do this video now, because I have quite a lot to show you and I didn't want to wait any longer before I do so. Now, my first work in progress is this absolute beauty. It is a Monday sweater in hand-dyed yarn from Lillerilla. The green was originally from her advent this year. It is called Rosemary. And I had one skein in the merino base. And in the middle of December, she did a release in her store. And she had 2 more skeins from the same dye lot. So I was able to secure those, and I felt it was just meant to be. And I hope I have just enough to make a complete sweater. I did the Monday sweater at the start of the year last year in a camel color, but I just never ended up wearing it. I don't think it's my color, so I actually just sold it and sent it off to someone who hopefully will get a lot more wear of it than I did. But I really love the fit and just how basic and nice the Monday sweater is, so I chose to do the Monday sweater again. I didn't want to buy like a new pattern for another basic raglan sweater. I find this pattern to be really good, so I'm doing it. And as you might see, it looks kind of small because I did gauge swatch for this and I found that the gauge swatch grew in both width and height, so I'm hoping this will turn out nice in the end. I have a bunch of gauge swatches for this piece actually. I started off doing one with 4mm needles, which the pattern calls for, with 3.5 on the pearls. This isn't the right color, I did it in another Lillerilla yarn that I had laying around, so I wouldn't use the green. And it's knit holding a strand of Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair with it. So I started off with a 4mm needle with 3.5 on the pearl side, found it was too long. I then did 3.5 and 3 on the pearl side. This was too small. And ended up with 3.5 on both sides. And this is supposed to turn out perfect. So if this doesn't work out, I will throw myself out of the balcony or something, because this is too beautiful to not fit. I'm doing a size small. It is supposed to fit me. It will give me a bit less positive ease than it's supposed to be worn with, but I find that is okay. I think that the patterns, at least some of the patterns Petiteknit have been releasing the last year or two, have a bit much positive ease for my liking. Like, I enjoy my sweaters a bit oversized, but like not as much as I'm swimming in them, because I'm quite short. So I find if I wear too oversized pieces, it just kind of drowns me. So if you're taller, I'm guessing the positive ease will be nice on you. It depends. It's all about what you enjoy yourself, but I find that they kind of make me, I'm kind of swimming, kind of drowning in them. I wound up these yarns together, the merino and silk mohair, and it's convenient for traveling because we were traveling for Christmas, like we were driving to the cabin, so I needed to make my yarn a bit more compact. But I'm not sure I will actually recommend doing this. I don't think I will do it for the last skein. I've only wound up 2 of the skeins because the mohair is so lightweight. It keeps like forming huge clumps along the merino. So every now and again I'm actually cutting off the mohair and making these tiny little balls that I'm saving for last. And it's going to be a pain in the ass weaving in all the ends at the in the end. I might just do some tiny knots. It's like the mohair, I think if you just tie them tightly enough, they don't unwind or anything. Yeah, I did put the gauge swatches all through the wash and on the spin cycle in the washing machine, but I'm not sure I will be like brave enough to do that for the finished piece. I might just hand wash it and push out all of the water in a towel and see if that gives me the right gauge before putting it in on the spin cycle, which I also hope will help with the ends not unraveling. So yeah, that's my new Monday sweater. I'm hoping it will be pretty. I find that these variegated greens sometimes may be a little bit camo, but when I see it on the screen and it's like a bit smaller and more of a distance, I find that the white or like the lighter parts kind of eases and softens the color a bit. So I'm hoping it will be pretty and not camouflagey. Yeah, I think this is a nice green for me. I'm still waiting for my color analysis. I've ordered a color analysis for myself after Christmas, but they are quite backed up. They are quite backed up after Christmas, so it will take a few more days until I have it. I hop onto my Gmail every morning to see if they've done it while I sleep, because it's in Melbourne, so they are awake when I sleep. And I'm so looking forward to it, but I think this green suits me. I hope so. Anyway, my next project is something you probably have seen on the knit tubes recently, and it is a Lana vest. I figured I needed one, and after doing the Moby sweater for my husband, I really enjoyed actually doing cables and structures, so I wanted something for myself. So I chose to cast on a Lana vest. I am doing this in Hillesvåg pelsull, Varde. It is a Norwegian yarn, Norwegian wool. I think this is referred to as both pelt wool and long wool, and it's a kind of true green. The color is called true green anyways, and it's a clear darker green, which I really enjoy. It's kind of a Slytherin green, don't you think? I think I'm in my Slytherin era. I was sorted into Slytherin when Pottermore first came out, and it just cleared up so many questions we had about me. Explained a lot. So yeah, I'm in my Slytherin era. So this is the Lana vest. I've done the back, I've done the shoulders, and I have now joined to do the front, and there's not too long until I'm going to do it in the round. I found the pattern quite easy to understand and read. There is a nice chart. I use an iPad when I knit, so I'm able to zoom in and like make lines as I go, which I find really nice for this because the chart was kind of small. So if you're printing it, I would suggest blowing it up a bit so it's easier to see, but I just scroll along as I knit. And I'm finding that when I knit in the flat, these diamonds are kind of hard to keep track of. That they're probably not really, but it's just my head doesn't get them. So I'm hoping that when I get to knitting in the round, they will be easier and maybe I can memorize the pattern, but it's not too complicated. There are two braids, two different kinds of braids, some moss stitch, and just knit some pearls. I'm doing, I think, size 1, which is also supposed to give me a bit less positive ease than it's supposed to be worn with, but I'm going to just try to block it out quite flat. And with the same reasons as I was talking about before, I don't want my pieces to have too much positive ease because I find they kind of drown me. So that is a new project and an acquisition. 2 in 1, which is nice. Now, I think those are my current works in progress. We won't talk about the UFOs. They're not relevant today. Let's jump into acquisitions. And first, let's do the most exciting one, which is my new blocking mats. My mom heard my cries for blocking mats and she delivered. I now am the proud owner of blocking mats and needles. They are really sharp, so I put them in this box container thing, which I hope will keep my very, very curious 7-month-old out of my needles. You know, you don't want your 7-month-old playing with needles or knives or anything sharp, really. She is now trying to chew all over electrical wires, which feels like a safety hazard, and we are not sure what to do about it. Anyways, I love my new blocking mats. I've been blocking for fun during Christmas, and I am desperately looking for more stuff to block. And I'm going to diligently block everything I knit from now on. The next is also a Christmas gift. It's one of my very dear friends gifted me this perleull, pearl wool, from Oslo Microspinnery, which is a micro spinnery here in Oslo. It is made with 60% lamb's wool from wild sheep, 20% lamb's wool from Norwegian white sheep, and 20% silk. It is a beautiful blend. It feels rustic, of course, because it's Norwegian wool, but the silk like softens it, obviously. And as stated on this thing, it says that the farmers haven't been paid for this wool in the past, but because you are buying wool from this brand, you are now helping farmers get paid for this wool, which I find really, really inspiring. And hopefully it will give the farmers better pay, and we are able to make stuff from something that previously would have been thrown away, used just as insulation or stuff like that. The skein came with a pattern for a neck warmer, and I think I'm going to do the neck warmer because I really need one when I'm outside playing with my daughter. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And I know I've been saying that beiges and camels isn't like my color, but when the wool is this exciting, I don't care. And also, I'm not wearing this like probably for like every day. I'm going to wear it as an activity piece. And most likely I will be knitting a balaclava in like a color like this, and then having this underneath. And I think that's going to be really nice. This is my daughter's balaclava, by the way. It's so cute! I want to knit one for myself. And I'm actually contemplating doing ears. Tell me if it's weird with adults wearing pieces with ears, or if it's okay. It's just for like being outside playing, so I think why not have fun with it? Yeah, so thank you for this wool. I love getting wool for Christmas. That's really nice. Now, let's do the next batch of stuff. I bought way more than I was supposed to. Like, you know me. I want to show the advent calendar colors together. These are 4 out of 5. It is hand-dyed merino wool with nylon in it, so it's sock yarn. And they are so beautiful. The 5th color is the one that I used, the Kalamata, for the socks. I will insert a picture of them all together. But the last skein has already been wound up, obviously, and was in the drawer in the room where my daughter is now sleeping. And you don't go into the room where your kid is sleeping. That's just a rule. But I think the advent was just beautiful. This is obviously reserved for the sweater I'm currently knitting, but these three I'm quite sure I will actually make socks from. Beautiful colors. I just love them so much. I think the greens were my favorite. It's kind of blown out, I can see now in the light, but this is a softer green and white with some darker green speckles in them. I think the photo will show the color even better. And also I got my December color from the Yarn Club. It's the same yarn base, and it is in this warm ginger color. The color is called Gingerbread Latte. Also in the sock wool base. Probably will make socks. And you know, the whole color thing, I don't think they kind of apply to socks, which is nice because I have a subscription to this yarn. I get one skein every 3 months. I chose the yarn base, and I find sock yarn to be kind of versatile. So I will have lots of colorful socks at the end of the year, hopefully. And also in December, my dear friend, I'm choosing to call her a friend now because I've ordered so much from her lately. Lille did this clearance sale kind of thing. She put out all of the stuff that she had lying around and had some really nice prices. And she did actually have a set left from her Halloween collection. So I got 6 skeins of yarn for quite cheap actually. I think I paid 400 Norwegian for this, which is approximately like 40 pounds, 40 euros, 40 pounds, at least I just said pounds, dollars-ish, like give or take. But it's the Halloween collection on Peruvian Highland wool. These are 50-gram skeins, so they are a little bit less than the sock yarn, which I figured would be perfect for doing like hats and mittens and stuff like that. And they are inspired by The Nightmare Before Christmas, so they all have names relating to that, like Mr. Oogie Boogie Man and Christmas Town and different kinds of beautiful names. I love this green. As I said, I'm in my Slytherin era, but also this blue, light blue, purple, pink. This is really beautiful as well. And I just wound up these 2, which is a kind of aubergine purple and a really, really dark violet purple thing. I first believed this to be more of a black or charcoal, but when I held it up to a skein of black mohair, it just felt really off. So I opted to buy this dusty violet from Knitting for Olive to go with it, which I think will be beautiful. And for the other purple, I got this ball of mohair. This is called Artichoke Purple. And this is going to be a weekend hat. I'm doing it with a single fold brim instead of the double fold. I find that to be like too warm. So I'm doing a weekend hat, and I think these will be a pair of penny gloves because both are stuff I'm really missing for my wardrobe. I will soon be back to work after maternity leave, and I'm going to be walking to and from work every day with the dog probably. So I need some outside pieces to keep me warm. And I think that these, together with the socks, will make a really nice set for the winter set cal that the Woolly Worker is currently doing. And I wanted to join a cal. I really wanted to join a cal. I haven't done one before. And on the Discord, people are discussing all the stuff they will be doing. So yeah, I wanted to join that. Now, I think I might be able to do this in the time I have. I bought some Sanya Sisu. Oh, I forgot to mention the white from these socks are also Sanya Sisu, which is their fingering weight sock base, which I wanted to try to see how much they pill and how it holds up. So I bought this green as well to go with the lighter green from the Advent. I think they will go nice together. And the last wool I have is some balls I got from my husband. He bought me 3 blue and 3 greens I got some of them for my birthday, which was in the middle of December, and the rest of them I got for winning the first row in our Advent bingo. We used to make like an activity Advent for each other every other year, but after a few years we saw that we always ended up like, oh no, I'm working overtime, we can't watch that movie, or like, oh, something came up, we got sick or anything, so we couldn't make gingerbread cookies when we were supposed to, and everything just kind of got mumbled and jumbled together. So we started making like a bingo board instead with all these activities, which means we could get like 3 crosses a day and nothing was tied up to a concrete date or anything like that. And it's really nice, and we decide on some small amounts of money and go to buy each other prizes when the other one wins, and everyone wins because it's really easy to win, but it's just so fun. And he asked what I wanted as a prize, and I said that I really wanted yarn and I wanted him to go to one of the yarn stores nearby and just pick some colors he really liked. So he picked this green and this blue. I believe he had some help from the lovely ladies who worked there, who I talked to a lot. I think they might have recognized him because they really recognize our baby by this point. So yeah, they helped him pick out these, and I'm still not sure what I want to do with these. I think he kind of pictured me doing a sweater or something with just these 2 colors, which might work. And I'm also contemplating adding to these and doing a Fair Isle project, which I think would be really cool. Because this is Finull, which is a fingering weight Norwegian yarn from Rauma, which is one of my favorite wools to knit with. I used it quite a lot last year, and I've bought some new balls this year to make mittens and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really happy with his choices, and I believe this will be something pretty. If you have any ideas, either for like a 2-color project in green and blue, or any more colors I should add, please leave them below as ideas, and I will consider it. Oh my god, I think I actually made it. My daughter has been sleeping for 35 minutes and she usually wakes up at around like the 36-minute mark. So this was just barely. But yeah, I'm really happy I got to do this now because there was a lot of acquisitions I really wanted to show you. Yeah, and also I got some new Chiago needles because I wanted to try them out for Magic Loop. I did those socks on the 2.5. These are the 3mm that I will be using for mittens. And I'm going to get the 2.25 as well for socks in the future because I loved these. I get the hype now and I am turned and convinced that these are amazing for Magic Loop. So yeah, that was it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for following and subscribing. If you have a friend who might enjoy the colors and kind of projects I do, please share. It helps me reach new people and make new friends online. So yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for being my online friend, my knitting pal, my buddy. Share with me what you're knitting on, what you hope to get to this winter and this January, or summer if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. Like, we don't exclude our Southern Hemisphere pals on this channel. You're as welcome as anyone else. Yeah, I'm just playing with this ball of yarn now. So thank you for watching and I'll see you soon. Bye.